This is the Bristol Flyers Podcast.
Hello, welcome back to the Bristol Flyers Podcast, powered by WebGains. I am Joel Osborne. He is Sam Hardy. And Sam, the regular season is over because it's playoff time.
Oh my goodness me, Joel. This flipping season has absolutely shot by, hasn't it?
It has. How quickly has the season gone, by the way? Because it only feels like yesterday that we were actually doing this Wayne's World video right at the start of the season, doesn't it?
I think about it's always a way. We always, this will always be the same. But you think about how quick it feels. But then you think back to individual bits over the season when Nikiti hurt his wrist, other bits and bobs of that, and you're like, wow, that actually does feel like a long time ago as well, though. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. We're on the home stretch of the podcast now. Only 3 or 4 more episodes, I reckon, to go until the season's wrapped up. We're slowly getting our plans in place for our season finale, which I hope to give you news about very soon. But before we dive into the playoff episode and preview the matchup against Cheshire Phoenix, I got some sad news for the Flyers family, Sam.
Oh dear, what's happened, Joel?
Well, Jolie didn't get Glastonbury tickets on the resale. So he's not going to Glastonbury this year.
What are we going to do when we want admin's photos?
Well, you're going to have to cope without this season, unfortunately, this whole season.
Right. Everyone out there, if you're listening to this, whatever links you have with Glastonbury...
Yeah, brunette male. If you can get a ticket with a brunette male image on it, because it's all linked to photos, isn't it?
Yeah,
so
but we'll do it legit. We'll find someone who's got connections.
You can't do it legit now.
Fine, we'll get you a ladder and a high vis, and over the fence he goes.
You're going to sneak me into Worthy Farm this summer. That'd be great. Thank you very much.
Do you think people try and sneak people in their cars? Do they check your cars or not?
Yeah, they're really, really hot on that. And obviously we don't promote that here on the Bristol Flyers podcast.
No. All legal actions take place here on the podcast. Is that right, Joel?
Yeah. Anyway, this is a basketball podcast. So shall we talk about basketball this week, Sam?
Says you. You and Dan always talking about wrestling or some other nonsense. So.
Got producer Dan over there with us as always. Dan, how are you, sir?
Very good, thank you. Looking forward to going to Glastonbury later on this year.
Brilliant.
No, I'm joking. I'm just kidding. I just want to make you jealous.
Are you excited for the playoffs, Dan?
I am actually. Yeah. We were talking before. Flyers are at the bottom end of those that have qualified for the playoffs. But
all right, mate.
Hang on.
All right, mate.
Hang on. I'm saying it's not over yet. I think we're in for a good little run here.
Yeah, more to come on that on this week's show. Of course, the Flyers, as you say, they finished 7th in the league this season, which sets up a best-of-3 series against the second-seeded Cheshire Phoenix in the first round of the playoffs. We'll be previewing that series later on today. I know there's a lot of Cheshire Phoenix fans that listen to the Bristol Flyers podcast as well, so we've got a guest on that hopefully caters to Cheshire Phoenix fans as well as Bristol Flyers fans.
Ben Thomas. No.
But before we introduce this guest, let me paint the playoff picture for you. Now, producer Dan, we've got a lovely graphic here. There it is. There's the final league standings. The last games of the regular season took place last week. There's the league table as it finished. London on top, equaling the record for most wins in a season. Cheshire, their highest finish since they won the league in 2005. Caledonia, a top 3 finish, their highest league finish since 2017. Sheffield Sharks sneaking into the top 4 in the final weekend of the regular season. Leicester and Newcastle, 5th and 6th, with identical records, both 500 in the league. Leicester finishing above on the head-to-head. Flyers in 7th and Surrey Scorchers finish in 8th. It means that this is the playoff picture. If you're watching on YouTube, first plays 8th, second plays 7th, third plays 6th, and fourth plays 5th. Look at these tasty matchups. London taking on Surrey Scorchers, Cheshire taking on our Bristol Flyers, Caledonia Gladiators facing the Newcastle Eagles, and the Sheffield Sharks going up against the Leicester Riders. Reminder that all the games in the playoffs this season are on the British Basketball League YouTube channel. You can watch them live and on demand. Sammy, excited?
I like those graphics, Joel. I liked what they were doing there.
I just stole them from the British Basketball League, so thanks to the league for providing those graphics for us.
I was about to give credit to producer Dan then, but no credit for Dan, ever.
Also, can we just talk about this, by the way? Manchester Giants in the last weekend of the regular season, sneaking 2 wins to send Plymouth dead last.
Do you know what? We were talking about this, and there was a scenario where we could have come 5th if Leicester and Newcastle both lost their last 2 games, and it was like, oh, well, Manchester are actually going to have to win one. And they went and win flipping both of them. But then the other 2 games, And our game. We lost ours, and then they won the other ones anyway.
Yeah. So it does mean we're 7th anyway. But shout out to Manchester for putting Plymouth the dead last spot. Things we love to see, Sam. Plymouth finishing bottom. So let's dive into this playoff quarter-final matchup, shall we? It's our big playoff preview episode. Flyers against Cheshire Phoenix. And it's time for us to introduce this week's guest. And here to help us get the lowdown on our playoff quarter-final opponents is a man who's played for both the Bristol Flyers and the Cheshire Phoenix in the British Basketball League. Please welcome back to the show our very own sharpshooter, Levi Bradley.
I appreciate y'all having me back on. Thank you.
How you doing, Levi?
Doing all right.
Yeah?
Yeah. Had an off day today. Got some extra work in, so.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a rest day for the guys today. I guess more the preparations for playoffs now all around, getting your bodies right and doing video stuff rather than really like working hard and, in practice now. It's all about just preparing because there's finer margins, isn't it, that make a difference now?
Yeah, there's fine tuning at this point in the season. I think we're ready to go, honestly.
How long have you been with us now? It's like 3 months now, isn't it, since you sort of joined with us mid-season? You joined in January, is that right?
January 2nd. What is it now? April?
Yeah.
So was that about 4 months?
Yeah, 3-4 months. Yeah.
Going on 4.
It has been. I've loved having you, mate. Honestly, you've added something to this team which we've not had. This lovely, tasty little mid-range, which is just beautiful. The turnaround jumpers. It's been great, hasn't it, Joel?
Have you enjoyed your second spell back with the Flyers?
You know I did. Or do.
Yeah, I was going to say the season's not over yet, Levi. We've still got plenty of ways to go yet.
Yeah, we do.
How is it compared to your first stint in the club? Because when we obviously had you on before, it was like you didn't really know the players. You knew a couple of them, but you'd barely even met them by the time we did this pod before. So how's it been?
It's been great. This group is a special one in my opinion. So much charisma, so many different personalities. Honestly, I love this team.
Love that.
Yeah, it's been great having you back with us, mate. I guess it was just a sort of case of picking up where you left off in terms of settling into the city and like because all the faces are still here from your first spell with the club. Like in terms of like not the players, a lot of the players, but the staff and the volunteers and everything else as well.
The head honchos, honestly, got you, Kapulis, Nick, Coach Nick, everybody, honestly.
Mikey, Big Mike.
It's Killer Mike to you. Thank you.
Yeah, the all-around king of organisation, Mike.
Is that what he's known as? The king of organisation?
He organises everything.
I was going to say, anything has to go through Big Mike.
Yeah.
And I won't want to cross Big Mike. He's a scary man, hey?
No, we literally say that all the time. Like, I'm convinced Mike is like a double agent or something.
Shout out, Mike, if you're listening to this. Levi thinks you're a double agent.
What you mean? So he's like pretending to do the ops for the Flyers, but actually he's
it's like you seen The Equalizer.
Oh, yeah.
Something like that. Like he's just humble and real modest, but behind the scenes he's a completely different person.
he's like, for me, I see him as like a big gentle giant. He's massive and serious, but he's actually just a gentle down inside, isn't he, Joel?
Yeah, he's a big softie. We love you, Mike.
Definitely love you, Mike. Couldn't do anything without you. Literally. Literally.
Yeah, he does so much for the players. It's unbelievable.
Tickets to Wi-Fi to clothes to food. It's Mike.
Yeah, visas, flights, making sure you're getting on them on time.
I'd argue he's enabling you guys not to grow up. Do you know what I mean? You guys need to grow up, and he's.
Levi, just going back to hoops. I mean, I know you've only been with us for sort of those 3-4 months or so, but overall on the court, in terms of the team's performances, sort of a mixed season, really, hasn't it? It's not really been. I mean, on paper we've got the talented roster that could finish right up there in the top 4, but it's just the injuries and the change in personnel throughout the season that's really caused the team to struggle to find any real momentum this season.
No, definitely. I think we haven't been healthy the whole year, but I think this is the healthiest we have been. I want to say almost all the season. I think we got the head-to-head on Newcastle, Leicester, and Cheshire, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, we can beat the top teams. We just have to stay healthy enough to do it.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, look, we just showed the league standings there coming up into this episode here today. I mean, Flyers, they finished 16-20 on the season. You take away the 4 defeats to Surrey Scorchers, the 2 defeats to Manchester Giants, and the 1 defeat to Plymouth City Patriots. That's potentially 7 more games that we could have won there. If you add 7 more wins to our record, that puts us in second place right now. So it just shows, like, obviously it's very thankful that Plymouth and Surrey and Manchester, they aren't in the playoffs, so we haven't got to worry about playing them again. But it just shows that we can compete with the teams right at the top end. And you look at this sort of 2v7 matchup, which we'll get onto a bit shortly. And, you know, some people will say we're the underdogs, but really you look at it and you look at the head-to-heads between the teams that we'll dive into in more detail later on. Is there for the taking this first round?
No, it definitely is. It's up for grabs. It's really going to be who wants it more.
So you're saying we can compete with the guys at the top, but we can't compete with the guys at the bottom? Is that what you're saying?
Well, but you look at the. I mean, that's.
I'm joking.
Yeah.
I'm joking with you. It's fine.
Yeah. Even if you win 4 of those 7 games, by the way, and you know, we expected to. You know, you're expected to win those 7 games. Let's say you win 4 of them. That still puts us in the top 4.
Yeah, going 0-4 to like. Sorry, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've not had that ever, have we?
No. So it just goes to show that we can compete with any team in the league this season. Of course, Levi, we brought you on the show this week to preview our first round matchup against the Cheshire Phoenix. What was your reaction when you first found out that it was Cheshire in the first round?
That was my reaction.
Was it? Because obviously, you're no stranger to Cheshire. You had that spell with them. Is it during the 21-22 season for Cheshire?
Yeah, it was.
So again, it's a program that you know very well already.
Yeah.
You averaged 13 a game. You're part of the team that lifted the British Basketball League trophy. How do you look back on that on the court?
Appreciative for what Brycey and Ben giving me the opportunity, you know, to continue my professional career. So I'm always thankful for that, and just the guys, really. That group was a good group of guys. At Teddy Okafor, Larry Austin, naming right. I honestly had a ball with my teammates.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved my teammates and the fans too. The fans are great. I got to give them their flowers. Some of the best fans in the league. But I had fun.
They love you there as well, don't they? I remember when you went back there, or did they come here in a game and when your name was called out or whatever, the Knicks fans are shouting and screaming your name as well, which is quite nice, isn't it?
And also the All-Star voting, by the way, as well. You were right up there after, being, a couple of weeks in, and I imagine a lot of Cheshire Phoenix fans got behind you for the All-Star voting as well. So you're getting 2 clubs worth of support there.
No, definitely. And to be in the mix with the other 2 guys, like Teddy Allen's had a crazy season. Sam Decker doesn't really need to be spoken on. So that shows I got fans here. I appreciate them, love them.
And also, out of that experience, you managed to get the championship winning experience, obviously lifting the British Basketball League trophy. So you sort of get that idea. You kind of know now what it takes to win championships in that league and in this league. And hopefully it's something you can bring to us in this playoff campaign now, right?
No, definitely. Every time I play for Coach, we usually do something special. First time I played for him, we went to a final. Supposed to be 2, but that's so.
Oh yeah, right,
game.
The British Basketball League Cup final. Yeah.
Let's not talk about that. So
yeah, that was a tough day. That one.
Both games are tough.
Then this time around, first time ever going to the playoffs in Europe, which is something that's never been done by the club, I don't believe.
Yeah, it's our first ever season in Europe this past season. So, you'll always be part of the historic first ever Flyers team to venture into Europe. So regardless of what happens in the playoffs, this team will always be a team that sits in Flyers history. Hopefully we can write some more now going into the
That's the only thing left at this point. I've been to a championship. We've played in the playoffs and European competition. The only thing left is to win the championship.
Yeah, and what would it mean to yourself, but not only yourself, but like to Coach Kapoulas if we can go on this deep playoff run or lift the championship this year? Because you won't find anyone at the club that sort of breathes and eats and sleeps Flyers basketball more than Coach Kapoulas. Obviously, it's his 20th season now, and he said at the start of the season he always preaches to the guys just what this club means to him. What kind of things is he saying to you guys, and it's how much can you see the passion coming out of him?
No, I'm convinced Coach has like a Flyers tattoo somewhere. I'm convinced. But no, Coach preaches it every day, and it's in his actions, not just his words. Like, you know how much he cares about this program. So I feel like we try our best to go out there and not only make ourselves proud, our people back home proud, but make them proud, just because when you do put on the red and blue, it does mean something.
Yeah. Well, let's dive into this first round matchup against Cheshire Phoenix. Sam, how do you see this one playing out. It's quite a tasty one, isn't it?
Well, we've talked a lot about this. You really like our matchup against the Knicks.
I love it.
We tend to
I love it.
match up well against them, hey?
I really like it. So we'll dive into the season series later on, but if you just look at the way that both teams play, like the Cheshire Phoenix this year are very like they're either shooting threes or they're going to the basket. It's very American style of basketball, and we have the athleticism on the wings, you know, your likes of your TJs, your Tevin Ollisons, to be able to deal with that. If you look at the games between the two teams, they've been very physical. Either team, two of them have been very close. Two of them have been sort of blowouts either way. One team likes to shoot a lot of threes. One team crashes the glass and is prizing himself on the defensive end. I can't call this series, to be honest. To put my completely neutral hat on, obviously I'd love Flyers to win, but I just can't call this series and see how it's going out.
They don't have an answer for Brad, but then Skylar White is a dangerous person as well, hey?
Yeah.
No, Skylar White is a dead-eye shooter. Can't give him any space at all.
Yeah.
But if he's bringing Brad out though, that's probably why we put some of you guys on Skylar instead, right?
Yeah, I was going to say Skylar's going to be my matchup 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, boy.
I think this is the one matchup that you look at when Cheshire were looking at the playoffs, potential opponents, and any of the sort of 4 through 6 that they could have played in the first round. I think Bristol's the one team they probably would have wanted to avoid.
Yeah.
But based on the previous matchups between the teams, based on the physicality of the games, I mean, both teams have won on each other's home courts this season, so it just goes to show that they can both win on the road at each other's home places. So the home court advantage doesn't necessarily mean too much, because we've shown that we can beat them this season already.
I'll give them some credit, Joel. Two of my favourite players play for in this season.
Me too.
Aaron Rye, I just love the way he plays. I think it's so cool.
I'm a huge Maceo Jack fan as well. I mean, he's like basically shooting 50, 40, 90 this season.
They're both nice players.
Yeah.
They're both really nice.
And Quincy as well. Like, he's crazy. He does crazy things, doesn't he?
Yeah, he is. Hard and rugged.
Yeah. And of course, coming into game 1, Levi, you're no stranger to playing in front of that crowd at Cheshire Oaks Arena. What's the atmosphere going to be like at Ellesmere Port this Sunday?
Loud. Extremely loud. Full of energy. Our job is going there and keep it as quiet as possible.
Yeah, it's one of those ones, isn't it? Because they've got such a great fan base. You've seen how well they travel this season as well. We'll see how it goes. I mean, it's going to be a tasty matchup. Game 1 is this Sunday, 6 p.m. tip-off. Game 2 is Friday, May 3rd at 7:45. Game 3, if necessary, will be on Sunday, May 5th at 6 p.m. Let's talk about some of the keys to coming out on top in this series for both teams. One of Cheshire's biggest threats this year has been their three-point shooting. Now, we all know Cheshire like to take and like to make a lot of threes. Got some stats here for you. They take 32 threes a game during the regular season, which is the most by any team in the league. They also make the most threes, an average of 11 a game. Levi, what's the key to slowing down a team like that has the ability? They're going to put up a lot of shots from the three-point line.
Honestly, stopping them in transition. They're at their dangerous when Rideau and Aaron Ryer are going downhill full speed. They're hard to stop then. So keeping them in a half-court game and, like you said, no threes or make it as difficult as possible.
Yeah.
The tricky thing is, with their selection of players as well, you can't just come out so aggressive with the three, because they can blow by and finish really well around the hoop as well, can't they? So they are a tricky team.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, well, they create those mismatches as well, don't they? I mean, you've got players like Aaron Rye, for example, that can shoot the ball, you can back down smaller defenders, you can bring out a bigger defender and go around him. So, but like I say, I do think Flyers have the ability to cope most with those mismatches, because we've got a bunch of players that can all play very similar positions on the court with Flyers.
Well, and someone like Raf is perfect for Aaron Rye. Like, he is the human mismatch, I get that, but Raf is a freak of nature. Like, he's so quick, he can get out to the three, but and on-ball defense is incredible, isn't it?
No, definitely. Raf is in a class of his own when it comes to his just tenacity. I don't even know what to call it, but he's an animal offensively and defensively. When he's on defense, and you can tell other teams hate it. I hated it when I didn't play for Bristol. I swear to God, I hated playing Bristol when I was playing for Cheshire.
Oh, really?
No, I really did. It's because you know what you're going to get. A bunch of people beating up on you, pushing, shoving. You know how Bristol plays. So, like, That's what we need. That is the key matchup for the game, honestly.
Yeah. Well, that rebound battle, like you said, is going to be massive because, I mean, that is basically Flyers' DNA. That's Flyers basketball, as Coach K likes to call it. It's winning the rebound battle. It's crashing the offensive glass, making second chance opportunities. Little more stats here for you. Flyers lead the league in rebounds this season, 43 a game. We've also led the league in offensive boards this season with just under 15 a game. We've also led the league in second chance points at just over 12 a game too. That's going to be huge come this whole series, isn't it? It's if your field goal percentage isn't quite there, getting those second chance, sometimes even third chance opportunities, that's how we're going to keep the scoreboard ticking.
No, definitely. You hit it on the head there, especially for us because we have been struggling shooting this year, just as a collective, as a team. But that's how we stand in games.
Yeah. Is that just like a mindset thing when you talk about the rebound battle? Is that like, obviously Coach preaches it to you guys, but if you look at like rebounding, like it's not all, some of it's positioning and some of it's timing on the jump. A lot of it is down to just luck and what angle the ball is coming off the rim. Like, how does he preach that through to you guys so that you can actually execute and become an elite rebounding team like the Flyers are this season?
Oh, he barks it in practice. That's every drill, every possession, anything we do, he's yelling, "Get to the glass" every time a shot goes up. So that's all Coach K there. I think we all got that mindset just because he instilled that in his team.
It also helps having not only the stupid athleticism of like Trajan and whoever else, but then just the human monster.
He's the thing.
The thing. Yeah. Brad Green, the walking double-double.
Yeah.
Grabbing those balls. He's like, we literally, every game, we are watching to see when his double-double happens, and regularly it's in the first half.
Well, he had it with 2 minutes to go in the game against Caledonia on the last game of the regular season, didn't he? We were sat together, weren't we? We were counting it. I was like, Sam,
2 minutes to go in the first half, you mean?
Yeah.
I thought you said in the game, no, in the first half.
I was like, Sam,
yeah.
Brad's one rebound away. He's one rebound away, and it's like 3 minutes to go in the second quarter.
He gobbles them up, doesn't he?
No, yeah, he does. I forgot what Newcastle game. Coach was at halftime when we were talking like we need to get Brad going. We looked at the stat sheet. I think he had like 2 points, maybe 3 or 4 rebounds. I don't know. I just know at the end of the game he still ended up with a double-double.
Yeah.
I just looked at him. I don't know how you did that. And he just looked at me and said, "I don't know either."
He's just one of those guys. He does it quietly as well, doesn't he? You watch him play, and you look at the stat sheet, and you're like, oh wow, he's just got double. It's just classic.
On Brad, his family offered so much good value over the last 2 weeks. They've been down.
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
His mum, his brother, and his brother's girlfriend were all here.
They're lit.
Funny, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They were, I think Brad said they were just out traveling all throughout England. I'm like, you're not going to go with me? He's like, no, they just left me.
I spoke to Brad this morning, and he said that they went to the Guinness beer factory in Ireland.
Yeah.
They basically done a load of little beer factories. And
they went to visit Wrexham as well. Did you hear about that?
Did they?
They went to Wrexham
because of the documentary.
They wanted to see the football team. Apparently, they were in the pub that's on the documentary as well, and they wanted to get tickets for the game. They couldn't get any, and they only could get 2, and there was 3 of them, so they decided not to. I was like, should have just pulled the short straws and sacked one of them off, man.
Left them at the pub, I would.
Yeah,
I think I'll watch it on telly.
Did Wrexham reach you in America? Do you know about it or not really?
Not really.
No, because I know it's a big thing out there in the States. Because obviously Ryan Reynolds is like back the club and stuff like that, and not reached everyone apparently. Let's talk about the form guide between Flyers and from Flyers and Cheshire coming into this series. Now, Flyers are coming into the playoffs in an upturn of form. They've won 4 of the last 6 league games heading into the postseason. And this is the most important thing, isn't it? It's about playing your best basketball right now. And I think right now we are seeing that. We've had some huge wins. I mean, you look at Leicester away. We had Cheshire away very recently. Newcastle away. So some big wins, particularly on the road as well. What do you put that sort of upturn in form down to?
I think we lost to Plymouth at home, and that just kind of put a switch on everything. I think like after that loss, and we had a back-to-back game too, it was kind of I remember being on the bus for Cheshire, and I'm just looking at everybody's face, and everybody kind of had a business look about them. I don't know. But it was just like a no way, this isn't going to continue. And I think once you've been through the worst of the worst, which I think Bristol has been, at this point there literally is no point but up. And if you can deal with the worst of the worst, everything after that is easy to deal with now. So we've been down by 15 and a half. We know what to do. We were down by 12 against Newcastle heading into the fourth quarter. Nobody panicked. We didn't start pointing the blame game. We just dug down and got to work. And I think that's what's going to help us the most in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think that's what makes us most dangerous as well. The fact that we have proven that we can come back from fourth quarter deficits like pretty quickly. I mean, you look at Sheffield at home, for example, when TJ had that backdoor poster, and then it's just a little play like that sparked the run. Even I know we lost the game against Plymouth, but the Keedy 3-quarter heave just sparked a run in Flyers. So it's like little moments like that throughout the series. It only takes one moment like that to really go on that run, and it's the finer margins come playoff time that could decide a series essentially.
Literally, just trying to marginalize our errors and capitalize when the other team makes a mistake. That's what we are focusing on right now.
Yeah. Looking at Cheshire's form coming into the playoffs, they've won just 2 of their last 5 games. But this is a team that obviously shocked the league by winning the trophy against London in the final. They have the ability to win big games. But how much confidence do you take from the fact that they're not playing their best basketball now coming into playoff time?
We realize that they are definitely going through something right now. Not going to dismiss it. They still are Cheshire. They still finish second in the league, and they could still hurt you. But I think now would be the time to get on them if any time right now, like I said. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Postseason's a brand new season, isn't it?
Nothing
The
matters.
records are back to 0. Nothing that's happened before playoffs even matter. It's all about what happens in the next 2, maybe 3 games. So I love it. Bring on the playoff.
The thing is, though, like as much as you're right, they lost 3 of their last 5 games, but their game against London, I know it got heated, but they did play pretty well in that game anyway.
Yep.
And I know London were pretty stacked in that, so I know that they're not winning everything right now, but they did have a good game against London. So I think we can do it, guys. I think we can. I'm just saying, like, we don't need to like go out there thinking they got loads of problems. We just need to go and do our thing and beat them.
No, they got to guard us too. I said we didn't show that we got a plethora of guys that can hurt you in different ways, whether it be Kitty or whether it be Tev, or whether it be Tijan, just being a floor general. I don't need to speak on Brad, what he can do, or TJ. So I think it's going to be a game of who wants it more, who's going to play the better defense, and who's willing to do who's willing to do the dirty work.
There you go. I know what you're going to say there. You're going to say the word bullshit. But we don't say that here on the Bristol Flyers podcast. If you have a look at the season series between these 2 teams, by the way, we've actually played Cheshire 5 times this season, if you include the pre-season game. Flyers actually lead the season series in total, 3 games to 2. It's 2-2 in the regular season. Both teams have won on each other's home courts. Flyers won the first game of the series at home in a nail-biter back in October, 74-70 at the Wise campus. Tevin Ollison led the way, 23 points. Second game of the series, they defeated the Flyers by 2 in February at the SGS College Arena. Do you remember that one, Sam? Very close game.
Annoying. I mean, scheduling is so weird because it's like we played them twice at home all the way at the beginning and then here and then twice at the end away. So but hey, I remember that. It was a really annoying game, wasn't it?
It was like 2 mini series because, like you say, both of them were, I think, a week or 2 weeks apart in the first half of the season, and then both of the second meetings, the third and the fourth meeting even, were a week apart even in the second half of the season. You look at game 3, it went to Ellesmere Port. Phoenix ran away 96-73 winners in the third meeting. They did kill us that game. Leslie had 16 points off the bench.
We could not shoot, could we?
Oh my gosh, it was bad.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those shooting nights for us. Nothing was dropping for us. Game 4, the following weekend, Flyers went back up to Cheshire. As you mentioned, it was the day after that defeat to Plymouth City Patriots. And really, it was a game that Flyers dominated from the get-go. All 5 starters in double figures. Keedy Johnson with 24 points. Real team performance. You don't often see all 5 starters this season get in double figures like that. That's the kind of performance we need to replicate going into the playoffs, right?
No, yeah, definitely. Name of the game for that group is to keep them as cool as possible and keep our guys on fire, literally.
Well, that's the thing, because in that game we were actually up by 30 at one point, and they actually got real hot right at the end, and it wasn't a worry because we were winning by so much, but it was still weird that they came back and we only won by 15, 16 in the end.
Yeah, it was. Well, I'll tell you what it was. It was 75-89, so 14.
14. There you go. That's what I mean.
So it promises to be an exciting series. Bristol Flyers taking on Cheshire Phoenix. It's 2nd versus 7th. Don't forget, you can watch every game of the playoffs for free on the British Basketball League YouTube channel. Game 1's this Sunday, 6 p.m. tip-off. Game 2, Friday, May 3rd at 7:45 p.m. At the SGS Wise campus. And Game 3, if necessary, is back up at Ellesmere Port on Sunday, May 5th at 6 p.m. Tickets for Game 2, by the way, Sam, at the time of recording, there's only a few left. Of course, the unsold reserved season ticket holders were released the other day. I think right now we're at 30. By the time this podcast comes out, they're probably going to be all gone. Just shows, doesn't it? Like every time we have playoffs, I don't know if I told you, but they get like hotcakes. Did I tell you that? I don't know if I told you that before.
Oh my God. Literally, there's about 4 sayings that we do over and over on this podcast, and one of them is hotcakes, and I don't mind it, Joe. It's fine.
Rewind it.
Okay, what do you guys call hotcakes here? Are those pancakes?
No, just like, I don't really know.
I think
No,
they're
they're pancakes.
Is that what it is in America? Pancakes?
Hotcakes, yeah.
Oh, is it?
Those,
maybe
those
that's
are
where,
pancakes.
is that where the phrase comes
it must
from?
do,
I just thought it was like hot cupcakes, like fresh out the oven. Because I thought like if
Fresh out of the oven. That's what I was thinking too.
If you take hey yo, if you take hot cupcakes fresh out the oven, right? They go like hot cakes, don't they?
Hey yo,
That's Tevin.
Crazy.
So there we go. Yeah, tickets are like hotcakes. So make sure you get them. BristolFlyers.co.uk if they're not already sold out. Before we get to the news, let's have a quick nod to some of the other playoff matchups that are happening, because we haven't really spoken about them. But I'm going to run through them. Everyone's going to give me their predictions, who they think is going to come out on top. Give me a couple sentences about each, what your thoughts going into them. First, the 8th, London versus Surrey.
London.
Are we all saying London here?
London.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be London, isn't it?
London.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that would be an upset of upsets, would it not?
Hey, I'm backing you, Surrey. Come on. You can make threes. You've beaten us 4 times. Let's do it. I'm backing Surrey Scorchers. Come on, Lloyd.
That'd be crazy.
That would be
insane.
crazy.
It would be great if me.
Yeah.
Just like, oh yeah, it's not happening. Okay, let's have a look. 2v7 is Flyers versus Cheshire. 3v6 Caledonian Gladiators versus Newcastle Eagles. This one's actually quite a tasty series, I think.
I think the Glads are going to do it. I think Newcastle is so streaky. They've got such good players and they can do such good things. Over a 3-game series, I don't think they can do it. What do you reckon? I'm wrong.
I almost want to go Caledonia too.
I'm going Caledonia.
I
You
wanna
know
go
what?
Caledonia.
You know why I think I'm going Caledonia is because at the start of the season, this Newcastle team, when they were making the signings they were making, we're like, oh my God, it's Larry Austin. Oh my God, it's Jordan Johnson.
Taj Green.
Oh my God, it's Taj Green. Oh my God, it's Malcolm Delpesh.
Ricky McGill.
Yeah, Ricky McGill. Like, do you know what I mean?
Load it.
And then if you were to say to me at the start of the season, this team is going to be 500 at 18-18, sitting mid-table at the end of the season.
No way.
You would not believe that. And I think throughout the season, they've struggled to find roles on the team because they've all been stars on their previous teams. So they're all used to being the guy. And then all of a sudden, you're having to put different players in different positions. Like, I've said it before on the podcast. I think Malcolm...
Hot cakes. Oh, sorry.
I've said it before on the podcast, though. I think Malcolm and probably Marcus, to an extent, were playing better basketball when they were playing for Bristol Flyers.
Way better basketball.
I know that.
I just think they have so much potential, but they just haven't found their quite right roles. I think
Right
over
system. They need the right system.
and I think Caledonia are playing some great basketball, and also they've made a great change in bringing Green in. That sort of just changed their whole offense, and I just don't think that Newcastle, when they get put in when they face adversity, they might react a different way than Caledonia will. One more matchup to preview, by the way. Sheffield Sharks versus Leicester Riders.
This is a tasty little matchup, I think. I think...
Leicester.
You're right. That's what people are thinking. But I think Sheffield are going to do it.
I think Sheffield here.
It's something about Rob in the playoffs.
I
don't know how
agree.
he gets there, but he always gets there.
I agree. You can't write off Coach Rob because he finds a way to make it work.
He does.
However, this team this season, right,
However...
is completely different. They're a bit like us to an extent. The team is completely different to the team that was recruited at the start of the season. Xavier Pinson a couple of other guys. I can't remember the names.
I was like, who are these people?
They got cut. They brought in Teddy Allen.
I remember hearing about that.
They got cut. All three of them got cut. Braylene Bridges was one of them. Got cut. They brought in Teddy Allen. Lots of change throughout the team. It's not the typical. Teddy Allen's not the typical kind of Rob Paternoster player. I think also Sheffield are playing some, like, they just find a way to make it work. Sheffield are a great team. They throughout the season they've made changes themselves. They brought in Malik Green throughout the season. But if you look at the start of the season, they were holding teams to like 60 points, 70 points and winning games. It wasn't great basketball to watch. It was boring. But they still have the ability to do that. They still have the ability to grind out games. But now with Malik Green, you've got a different dimension in there as well.
I also think that Teddy Buckets has been amazing, don't get me wrong, but like people are working him out a bit as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's not had some of his best performances like that I've seen. He's had a few, but not like at the beginning of the season or beginning of his season. He was tearing the league up, wasn't he?
No, he was terrible. My first game being able to play, I think he gave us 30.
Yeah.
And we got blown out there.
Yeah, he's
crazy.
He's really good. I mean, he has the ability to win games on his own for them, but I just don't think it's team basketball. I'm not seeing the typical Leicester Riders DNA come through from previous years. You don't fear them the same way you used to fear Leicester Riders years ago.
It sounds bad, but whenever I see the Leicester's coming up, I used to worry. I don't care anymore.
Yeah. It's true. We've managed to beat them a couple times, 2 or 3 times this season. Yeah. So it just goes to show that they're not a team to be feared anymore. And Sheffield are playing some great basketball, particularly at home in their new arena. They're playing very good basketball, and the game 3's at home for them because they're the higher seed. They managed to sneak it in the final week of the regular season because Leicester dropped one to Manchester. If Leicester had won that game against Manchester, they'd be in 4th and get the home court advantage.
So, yeah, Levi, it's going to be Sheffield, all right?
Could be.
Says Joel.
I tell you what, I think it's going 3 games, though. I think it's going 3 games. I think both teams will win at home, and then I think Sheffield will win at home, game 3. Exciting. I love the playoffs. Dan, what do you think about Sheffield v Leicester? Talk to me.
So, listening to you make a very good point there, but you saying that the Stars of Leicester and the Stars of Newcastle, both of them will fold? Because I think...
No, I think the Stars of Leicester will shine, but I don't think they'll shine together.
Okay, just making that clear. Fine.
And I think Newcastle's a bit of a different situation. I mean, they can prove me wrong. We'll be on the podcast next week, and there'll be 1-0 up in the series, and I'll eat my own hat. But I just think you just can't write off the higher seeds here. I don't think.
You don't have a hat, so you have to eat Levi's hat.
I think the only real series where you'll see a lower seed team beat a higher seed team could be Bristol Cheshire.
Well, okay. I'll take that. I don't care either way. I take that.
Anyway, don't forget you can watch all the playoff games on the British Basketball League YouTube channel this season. Promises to be exciting. Make sure you watch them all. It's going to be great. Levi, got to get to quick fire questions before we move on to the news. We've got 30 seconds to answer as many questions as you possibly can. Do you remember how many you got last time?
Probably 6 or 7. I don't know.
Well, the score to beat is 11. I don't know if you know that. It's been 11 for ages. It's been 11 all season. No one's beaten 11, have they, Sam?
Mike Miller.
Yeah.
Mike Miller.
Producer Dan, can we get the lights down low, please? Thanks. I love that bit. Right, Levi, you've got 30 seconds to answer as many questions as you possibly can. Your time starts. You ready, Sam? Your time starts now. What shoes are you hooping in right now?
Lightning.
What's your favorite month of the year?
September.
Do you have any funny nicknames?
Pudding.
What is your go-to lazy dinner?
Chicken pasta bake.
Do baked beans belong with breakfast?
No, baked beans don't belong anywhere.
Who's your favorite music artist right now?
Brett Fayez.
What's your favorite movie?
Lion King.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Yes.
How many tattoos do you have?
6.
6. Oh, that's a lot of questions
That's
you got
good.
there.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9.
9. You got 9.
I'll take
Two things, right? Pudding. That's your nickname.
Pudding.
Yeah.
Pudding. Who calls you that?
Everybody.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
We should call this episode the playoff preview with Pudding.
The other thing is you're giving us chat about these baked beans shouldn't be anywhere. This morning he was talking. Earlier we were doing a mic test talking about what he had for breakfast, and he puts, what did you have? Bacon, eggs, something else, and jam together. You weirdo.
I'm not going to take advice from anybody that eats baked beans on everything or think that black pudding belongs in breakfast.
Have you even tried black pudding?
I will never try.
Well,
black
there you go.
Oh, my goodness.
I do not trust anyone who doesn't try things.
Mate, I always remember when you were first spelled with us and you'd be like, we were at the Village Hotel eating breakfast together and you'd be like, what on earth are these baked beans doing on breakfast?
3 years. This is my third season here now, and I've never tried beans.
So what are you saying? They actually taste amazing.
They do taste it.
Yeah, with barbecue.
But are you saying you've never tried them at all? You don't even like sampled them to see. You've just seen them and been like, nope.
No.
You've
no.
never tried it?
Beans and eggs, that combo sounds crazy.
It's delicious.
No,
You're putting jam like on
I
your...
want you to put a poll out on the Bristol Flyers page
Okay.
and ask. Well, no, it's a British page. You can't do that.
We can. No, we can do a poll.
We can do a poll.
We can do a poll on Instagram. Do baked beans belong on breakfast? Yes or no?
I'm going to post it on my page, and I'm going to show you the results.
All right, so actually, yeah, you reshare it on
I'm
yours,
going to reshare it on mine.
and we'll see what happens.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Watch this space. The answer is yes. They do belong on breakfast.
Yes, I do. And black pudding's good too, so...
There we go. Right. That was a good chat, but it's time for us to...
You're listening to the Bristol Flyers Podcast.
Hey Flyers fans, this is the part of the show where we give a huge thank you to our podcast sponsor, WebGains. We've got Rob over there in the house, and without their support, this podcast would not be possible.
Now, WebGains is the smart affiliate marketing network who have an unbelievable track record when it comes to empowering advertisers and publishing partners to reach their potential and achieve game-changing results.
They connect businesses with top affiliates who can promote your products and services, reaching a wider audience and driving more revenue.
And here's the best bit, Flyers fans. WebGains provides you with detailed reports and analytics to track the performance of your affiliate marketing campaigns, making it easy to see the results of your hard work and investments.
But don't just take our word for it. Here's Rob from WebGains to tell you more.
Did you know that last year affiliates helped sell 12 billion worth of products for British brands? And every £1 spent on affiliate marketing by advertisers, also known in our channel as retailers, returned an average of £12.40.
That is actually crazy when you spend £1.
You get £12 back.
£12.40 back. It's so good.
It's amazing.
It's a good deal, isn't it?
And not only are WebGains sponsors of the Bristol Flyers podcast, but their company logo is also once again on the front of our home and away playing shorts, inspiring the team to make smarter connections, just like they do for thousands of brands on their international affiliate network.
So if you're ready to skyrocket your online presence and drive more sales, visit webgains.com and see how they can assist you in the world of affiliate marketing.
That's webgains.com, webgains.com. Give your business the assist it needs with WebGains Affiliate Network.
This is the Bristol Flyers Podcast.
What on earth are you doing?
You get to the news that I was just messing on with you, mate.
Oh, I love it.
Messing with you.
We've only got a few more episodes to go, Sam. A few more to go. Let's take a look at what's been happening around the British Basketball League over the last week. Time for us to get to our news. Got to talk about the Caledonia Gladiators game to end the regular season. The Flyers, they came up short against Caledonia Gladiators, 75-80 at home in the final game of the regular season. Thoughts on this game, Sam?
Oh my goodness me. Can I just talk about the fact how we cannot, or we can sometimes, but we could not shoot that ball. We could not. We got 2 3-pointers out of 16. They hit 11.
I've got it right here in my notes. 13 for 21.
13 for 21. What's the percentage of that?
61%.
That is crazy. And we could talk about, yeah, fine, should have got out to them more sometimes, maybe. But actually, I'd say like 5 or 6 of them were just like in the face, stupid threes that just like went straight in, and it was disgusting.
No, definitely. Some people that we didn't plan on hitting threes hit threes. We didn't make any threes.
We played good though.
No, and that's what Coach said. Coach said for us to only lose by 5 and you only make 2 threes in a game, that's kind of crazy when you actually think about it.
Yeah.
If you'd made the percentage, even if like, what was our percentage? Like 11% or something?
16.
So we had 16%. Even if you had a terrible percentage, which 20 would still not be a good percentage, right?
No.
And they had like a normal percentage of like 40. We'd win that game every time.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Let's wind it back to the start of the game. Flyers, they start an early 6-0 run in the opening 2.5 minutes. Caledonia, their first threes came back-to-back. Mike Bothwell and Lucas Paliza put the Glads up by 1. Flyers retook the lead, up 21-19 after the first. We mentioned about Quade Green starting the game on the bench. Imagine, resting for playoffs and load management and stuff. Just 15 minutes for him. He had 15 points then, 15 minutes. Brad Green completed his double-double with just under 3 minutes to play in the first half, which we spoke about earlier, but I think that's the quickest I've ever seen a Bristol Flyers player get a double-double, Sam. Tevin Ollison put the Flyers up by 3 at the halftime break. Caledonia led by 4 going into the fourth. And you mentioned the 3-point field goal percentage was the difference maker in that game. 75-80 the final score. The result locked in 7th for the Flyers in the regular season. Brad Green 18 points, 16 rebounds. Raf Thomas Edwards with 15 points. Great to see him getting back up there with the numbers. And Tevin Ollison and Trajan Jacob with 11 points apiece. Our guy Levi Bradley over there, 10 points and 6 rebounds. Oosh. Other news to get to, I've got to give a huge congratulations to 2 of our SGS Basketball Academy stars, who this past week have both committed to full athletic scholarships in the States for next season. Louis Tucker has committed to Stetson University, where he'll play on the Stetson Hatters NCAA Div 1 program. They actually made the NCAA tournament this past year. That's a big-time school.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Stetson, I had a coach in high school that used to coach there in college, and I've only heard good things about Stetson, and it's in Florida.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So congratulations to Louis. Of course, this past season he's been playing in the States with McCook Community College in Nebraska. He was their leading scorer and their leading rebounder there this past season as well.
From Nebraska to Florida is a bit of a difference.
Huge difference.
Yeah. He'll enjoy that one.
I don't think I could give you one fact about Nebraska.
Leslie Smith played there. I know that in college.
That's not about Nebraska. That's about Leslie.
University of Nebraska. It is what it is. Louis averaged 14 points and 6 rebounds a game this past season and helped his team, McCook Community College, reach the semi-finals of the regional tournament. So shout out Louis. Congratulations to him. Also, another big shout out to make. Callum Smart has committed to a scholarship with Augusta University on the NCAA Div 2 basketball program.
Nice too. Augusta's nice too.
Jealous of that because of the Masters. That's the main reason I'm jealous of that.
That's some nice golf out there.
Yeah.
Check out some golf.
I mean, he won't ever get to play there because it's like, you can't. You're just not allowed.
Yeah. Well, he's following in the footsteps of former SGS Basketball Academy alumni Dean Williams, who also attended Augusta out of SGS College. Shout out Dean, by the way. He's playing in the German Bundesliga right now.
Didn't his team, I don't know if it's the same team
They
as
won the
last
Basketball Champions League
last year.
last season.
Isn't that crazy? And he had a huge dunk in that game. I remember that.
I remember in the final. Yeah,
Yeah.
massive. So he's following in some great Flyers footsteps there in Dean Williams. So congratulations to you, Callum. Of course, Callum's been playing for the Flyers Men's 2 in NBL Div 2 this past season, averaging 9.7 rebounds in just over 20 minutes a game. And so we're really excited to see how both of you get on, and we'll be following from afar, and hopefully one day we'll see you in the pros. Wherever you end up, we'll be following your progress. So shout out to both of you. More news for you, Sam. Flyers Supporters Club end of season awards. The voting is now open by the time this podcast comes out for the Bristol Flyers Supporters Club Awards this season. You can do it online. The Flyers Supporters Club, if you don't know already, they're an independently ran group on Facebook. Full of Flyers fans. They have conversations online to get together, discuss all things Flyers and British basketball. There's an online survey right now, which is on the Bristol Flyers website. They do their end of season awards every year. Supporters can vote for the following categories: Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year, and Moment of the Season. What's your moment of the season, Sam?
My moment of the season was kicking Lublin's butt 108 something over in Poland. That was amazing.
Yeah, I'd say I would probably say my favourite moment of the season was that very first win out in Bulgaria in the EMBL. That was massive.
Were you there?
No, I was doing the commentary right here in the studio.
Yeah.
But it was a big moment for the club, and I got to commentate on it.
Yeah,
It was
nice.
great. There's also a category on the poll you can vote on, which is as a new category. It's lighthearted. It's the funniest moment of the year award that they've put in there. Jesus, Dan, you've got a moment of the season?
Yeah, I do. It's this. I reckon this is probably my funniest moment of the season.
Sam's dance moves out in Poland. I think that could be up there for a top 3 candidate. You know?
Yes.
There's some moves. Do you see that?
Whoa.
You
Yeah.
said you felt like you were drunk out there.
Sam was definitely drunk, as you can see.
Cheers, Dan. You
Yeah, no worries.
are officially
Sam's
fired.
I love that. So there you go. You can go vote on those right now over on the Bristol Flyers website. And also, if you want to get involved with the Bristol Flyers Supporters Club, just search it into Facebook and you'll find it. You got to hit accept. They got to accept your invite, and you can go on there. And you can talk all things Flyers basketball to your heart's content. Other news to get to, Sam. Here's some more news for you. I don't know about you, but I could smell some more British basketball beef.
It's time for British basketball beef.
That's
Sponsored
crazy.
by Cow and Sow. Sponsored by Cow and Sow. Shout out Cow and Sow. Because we've got beef for you. Do you like beef, Levi?
I was like, that's crazy.
Hey, yo.
Hey.
Beef as in like beef on the court. You a big fan of beef on the court?
Yeah. I've been learning to test on my day. Yeah.
I don't know if you watched the game last week between the Cheshire Phoenix and the London Lions, but there was British basketball beef involved. This is a game, by the way, that meant nothing to the league standings. There was nothing on the line here.
Oh, it meant something.
But obviously they played in the trophy final, so there's a little bit of this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Bit of beef. Midway through the second quarter, Tariq Phillip got ejected from the game for this. Get it up on screen, Dan. There you see Tariq Phillip. Little cheeky slap to LaQuincy Ridder right around the chops. There you see it in slow motion. Right in the face.
Do you know what? It's so... Look at the guy in the background. Did
And
you
there
see
he
that?
goes, ejected from the game.
Show it again, Dan. Look at the guy in the background.
There's a guy in the background sat on the chair. He's like, oh my God, send him off.
He points so... Oh, no!
Get him off the field! Get him off the field! Have you seen that meme? That's disgusting.
It's stupid though. Like if you give someone a little double slap on the face as a sort of all right, like you might get away with it, but that's a proper little slap, isn't it? Which wouldn't have even hurt, so it didn't do anything.
What do you think of that, Levi?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That he did it. I mean, I get it because I've been in a moment like that where you're like, all right, yo, I'm finna... But I never actually went through and did it.
Yeah.
What happened? I actually don't know what happened.
So obviously he got ejected for that.
No. Like, why did he slap him?
Oh,
Something
Tariq-
must have happened.
No.
Tariq Phillip got fouled and went to the floor, and then he got helped back up. But I don't know what else.
No, Tariq tried to help. No.
LaQuincy tried to help him.
Rideau tried to help him up, and Tariq kind of said no. So then Rideau started talking a little bit, and then that's what really got Tariq up and got him upset.
It worked because he got him ejected. So.
There you go.
This is the thing, and this is why talking sometimes is, it's part of the game. But like, if you can get under someone's skin and they end up getting ejected, then you've won. Like, LaQuincy's won that, hasn't
Definitely.
he?
No, he definitely did what he did after. Like he fouled out early, but I think he dunked on somebody. I don't know if that was before or after, and then he hit like a buzzer beater to go into halftime.
Huge three in front of Nwaba's face, wasn't it? It was huge.
Yeah,
and he actually dunked on Nwaba as well, didn't he? It was the same.
I don't think it was wasn't Nwaba?
I think it was.
It might have been. I think it was.
Yeah.
Also, the thing you got to consider here is that the playoffs are in a week, and you do not want to get any penalty points going into
Can you
playoffs.
get penalty points in that?
You can get penalty points for starting a fight. If you're slapping someone on the court, if you're physically contacting someone on the court, like, I would not be surprised to see penalty points there. That is your British basketball beef. We love the beef. So let's get some more beef in the playoffs. Who knows? We will see. And that's it.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. We love the beef. And that's it for this week's news.
You're listening to the Bristol Flyers Podcast.
Right, Levi, time for us to wrap up this week's episode of the Bristol Flyers Podcast with the mailbag section. As always, we ask fans to send us in their questions, and we ask the best ones to you. Here's a question on Instagram from Brad Green.
Oh my! Don't answer it. What did he say?
And this one might need a little bit of explaining or a bit of a story behind it. He goes, who's the best at Mario Kart and who takes the most losses?
Brad might be the best at Mario Kart. He definitely is.
He might be, or he is the best.
He is.
And who takes the most losses?
Probably me.
What character do you have to pick on Mario Kart, Levi?
Toad.
You always Toad here?
Toad's my guy.
Who's Brad? I can imagine Brad being a Bowser or someone.
Well, Brad does anything. Like he'll pick anybody. He'll pick the slowest car. Brad's a douche.
Are you often? So you guys play? Are you guys in a bit of a? Was it you playing on Wii or are you playing on
what is
Nintendo
it?
Switch?
The Switch. We play it on the Switch.
So you're a bit of a Switch sort
Definitely.
of mood right now.
We'll go to Tev and Brad's crib and just load up
Is
4
it?
controllers. Let's do it.
And is it just Mario Kart or is it like Super Smash Bros? Or?
Super Smash Bros. They get down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's the best at Smash Bros?
That might be TJ's up there too. I'm gonna be honest.
Really?
No, TJ's nice.
You sound a bit jealous here, Joe. You made the COD squad, but you've not made the Nintendo Bros.
I know. I don't get the invite to come over for Nintendo Smash Bros. Mario Kart night. I'll just be on the COD squad instead. Pasquale Landolfi on Instagram.
Boy.
Obviously, he loves the New York Knicks.
I don't know. Let me hear the question. That
Who-
was crazy.
Who do you play like the most on the Knicks team?
Probably Julius Randle.
Julius Randle, is it?
Julius Randle, what a boy.
He loves the Knicks, doesn't he?
Oh my gosh! I'm happy we didn't have practice today because my Bucks just lost, and right now we got this whole little rivalry thing going. Even though it's not really a rivalry, it's like a slaughterhouse if we see the Knicks.
Yeah. Well, we had Tijon Lucas on the podcast last week, and he was saying that apparently Pasquale's always winding them up about the Knicks.
Oh my God! When I see P tomorrow, I'm gonna record it. I guarantee you, the first thing he says is, "How about those Knicks, mate?"
Who's Knicks winning? 2-0.
2-0. Yeah, they are.
That's big. Okay, another question. Tash Puddy on Instagram. What teammate from your first season in the Flyers would you choose to have back if you could?
Right now, Fred Thomas.
Oh, what a boy!
Fred Thomas.
Fred Thomas.
Fred. I'd have Fred in heart.
He's playing at the half now, isn't he?
Huh?
In the French league.
Yeah, he is. I was just talking to him. I think he was talking about coming out here.
Oh, really?
Honestly, yeah. But it'd be Fred.
And
100%.
suiting up? No.
Someone put a contract in front of him.
Oh my! That guy was he was incredible. He was
great.
so athletic, wasn't he?
Fred was crazy. My rookie year.
He was great. I remember you used to text me for highlights. You'd be like, "Hey Joel, you got any highlights?" I'd be like, "Yes, here you go, Fred."
Hey Joel.
Every single week without fail. I'd start by the end of the season. I was like sending him to him without him even texting me.
I tell you what, though, he had highlights. So there you go.
Oh my god, he did. Here's a question from last week's show that I actually it came in too late for last week's show, but I think that the category is still very relevant now. So I'll ask the question. It's from Skill Breezy on X. The plane to Glasgow leaves in 20 minutes, but you're only halfway through your full English breakfast at the airport Wetherspoons. Do you A, ask a teammate to help you with what's left, B, pack the leftovers in your hand luggage, or C, savour every mouthful and miss the flight?
Including your beans and black pudding.
Just blames and back pudding.
What are your thoughts, Levi?
I'm probably going to share it with my teammate, and then we're going to get out of here.
Yeah.
Probably.
Did you hear about the Plymouth stuff last week?
I just heard about it though. Recently.
Really?
Yeah. Like I was confused about the basketball memes, and then
somebody
told me about it. Like, yeah, they left 2 players. Like, how do you leave 2 players?
They nearly won as well. You know that with 6. Well, 5.5. 'cause one was
Yeah, I
injured.
saw that too. If I'm a coach, I'm upset about that.
Hey, if I'm a coach, I'm sending them home.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
And he ain't paying for another flight if they miss that one as well.
I have zero respect for your team to miss a flight like that. When you're
Okay,
in
look,
the boarding lounge.
okay. It is the player's fault, but I've never seen us take off without Mike doing a head count.
That's someone's job. That's someone's
I have
paid.
never seen it. Ever.
Mike would not allow that, would he?
Someone's paid actual money to make sure that everyone gets everywhere. Like, to make sure everything happens. Do you know what I mean? Like, you had one job.
I have one job.
Just make sure we get it done.
Dan, do you have one final question for us or not?
I do have a final question, and as we're entering playoffs time, I would like to know, Levi, who of the teams that have made the playoffs you think you could beat in a fight? So we've got London Lions, if you could beat a lion in a fight, if you know what I mean. So we've got a lion, a phoenix, a gladiator, a shark, a rider, whatever that is, an eagle, and a scorcher, whatever that is. But of those animals and creatures and things, what do you reckon you could beat in a fight? That's a
good question.
Beat the brakes off. I beat the brakes off all of them.
Yeah, nice. I'd love to see you have a fight with an eagle. That'd be good. That'd be good to see.
That would be quite good. I'd pay money to watch Levi Bradley and a gladiator duke it out in a coliseum. That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Get it in.
Well, Levi with his shield and his sword in his hand.
That was a silly question, wasn't it, Dan?
They always are.
Love it. And that's why we love the Bristol Flyers podcast. And that's a good place to wrap up this week's show. Thanks to everyone for tuning in to the Bristol Flyers podcast. As always, Dan, thanks for pushing the buttons. Levi, thanks for joining us. Sam, thanks for hosting the podcast with me. Only a few more to go now.
Bit sad, isn't it? But hey, it's been good. It's been fun. And I've had a lot of good memories with you, Jolie.
Hey, I'm not dying. I'm not going anywhere. We'll be back next season. But we've got 3 to go first. If you are enjoying the podcast, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, leave us a rating and a review. If you're listening on all major podcast providers, share it with a friend as well. If you're enjoying it, your friend probably will as well. So please do that. It helps us grow the audience and everything and all that jazz. But until then, Sam, anything else to add before we wrap up this week's show?
Nope.
No? Well, that's going to do it. Until next week, we'll see you next time right here on the Bristol Flyers Podcast.